The time when we got to GBC, it was at the time when the culture of silence was being lifted. Mind you, it was in 1996, so the culture of silence had just been lifted. People didn't have, there was only Radio Gold and then Joy. And in fact, so we started, and then our colleagues were Kwame Komla, may he rest in peace. We did the training together, but he had to go to Joy. Okay. And then there was Fifi who did radio. There was Atuso Watson, Kofi Chapono, Kokstamaklo. So that was the time when everybody was coming up. So we had to go to. We went to GBC, and at the time you did your practical attachments, and then you went on to, if you found the job, do it. And I remember that they said there was a show, and it was a new show, and nobody, is really interested in waking up at 4 a.m. to come to the show. Would you like to do it? And I said yes. Together with a few of my other colleagues, we said yes, and they said okay. So we woke up and then we went. First day they made me a floor manager, and my colleague was put on air the very first time. So I said, look, this is not going to happen. So after the show, I went to may he rest in peace, Wallace Bampoad. I'm sure you do know him. Anybody who's in the industry would know Uncle Wallace. So I went to him and said to him that I really don't want to be a floor manager. I said, if you're hungry enough, I'll give you a camera. So this man gives me a camera, and I remember it like today. I went and stood at in a traffic with he gave me a producer, obviously. So I went and stood in the traffic, and I was just doing. He said, "You know what? Let's do a vox pop." So we selected a question, and I was asking people that maybe would you wear second-hand clothes, random things like that, and it caught on like a house on fire, and that's how I was introduced to television. Wow. You would come at 4 a.m. and mind you, this is like a side hustle because our main job was in the newsroom. Okay. So let's say if you're in the morning shift, we start at 8:30. We would come at 4 a.m., finish breakfast show by 8 o'clock, come to the newsroom, work till 2, and then go home. And then the cycle starts the next day. Eventually, we got into news reading, and then got into production, and then got into presentations and interviews. I remember one of the key interviews at the time was a program called News Conference, where you had presidential candidates. Like at that time, television was not what it is today. No. So it was a big deal. I'm sure it was a big deal. So yeah, that's how we started. I mean, we were fortunate to have mentors that were very keen on helping us and making sure that we did the right thing. So yes, television